Hey everybody, welcome to Yoga This Week. I'm excited for you're here for Yoga This Week. It's been a couple weeks and I'm ready to share with you a beautiful flow that requires some flexibility in the mind and some willingness to just go with the flow, but also to work our balance. As you might remember, this particular month, I'm really looking at being balanced and also going with the flow of life. We're at the tail end of August, and for many of us, we might start to get to where we're getting tired of the heat, getting tired, it seems to drag on, maybe the yard work's dragging on, you're ready for fall. I was at Starbucks today and I saw they had a countdown to pumpkin spice lattes, and I just get a chuckle that we always are forward thinking. And as much as we try to stay in the moment, there is always something to anticipate. And so for me, July seems to drag on and on and on. But I like to have balance with that. And I like to pull myself back into, it's going to be really cold really soon. And then we will be, having that conversation. And so the balance of being with what is, being with the heat, accepting the heat, and also wanting change. Like, how do we do that? How do we navigate that? And so I always come back to the idea of a river, and the water just has this ability to go over the boulders and through the grass and even under and swirl it, and just keeps moving. And water to me is such a great reminder to go with the flow and to be balanced and holding on tight to the dog days of summer, yearning for fall, holding on to wanting fall to come so bad that I'm so sick of doing yard work, but then realizing I really love yard work. So it's that balance. So just think about in your daily life, like how often are you unhappy with what you have and looking for the forward motion of life and just finding balance. I was teaching this concept to a group of people in Maryland this week, and we were talking about just even effort and ease. Are you constantly putting effort into your days and into your life with not enough ease? Or are you spending too much time in ease and not really pushing yourself with effort to have the life you want? So we have these dreams, we have goals, we have aspirations, and yet for most of us, it's really hard to find balance with that. And so we either tend to be overworking, over effort, under ease, or we tend to be way too much downtime and we have all the ideas in the world for a life we want to create. We have no effort. So it's finding balance and rhythm in that. So we're going to move through our bodies today with some balance and some flow, and just kind of connecting to that inner essence of who we are, to realize that we can go with the flow of life. And in going with the flow of life, we can also be incredibly balanced. And that's what's key this time of year, I believe, is seeing with the coming changes to, maybe if you're a mom and you have kids at home, or a young dad, that there are changes and big decisions that you're faced with. And can you go with it and flow with it, but also stay balanced? And even in the worrying, are we worrying as much as we're laughing? Are we having conversations that are balanced, or are they constantly revolving around what's going on in the world? I know for me, that's been a huge thing for me as I have conversations with friends or family, how much of the conversation is being dominated by what's going on in the world. And I want to find balance with that. I want to shift that to, asking everyday questions of people in my life and not just what's going on in the world, finding balance again. So once you start to see your life as two scales and you kind of really look at certain areas of your life in balance, you'll find that throughout the rest of this month, I'm hoping you'll really start to see that there is some imbalances in everybody's lives, and where is that imbalance getting in the way of the life that you want to create. So something to think about, something to chew on as we move our bodies in motion. So we're going to start in child's pose today. And so that looks like coming to all fours and then sinking your hips back to your heels. I like to have my knees wide here. I like the idea that my heart kind of melts into the mat, allows my belly to get really soft against the mat, and my hips get a nice release. As I always teach, I teach by my voice only. You will not see me doing the postures. In fact, I'll turn my camera off. I want you just to listen to my voice. And I want you to listen more to the language that your body is speaking as you move through this gentle flow and gentle practice that I'm going to offer you today. And the biggest thing to remember is that you are your greatest teacher. And I love for you to figure out what your body is wanting and make adjustments along the way. I just walk you down a path, and you might stop and linger somewhere and smell the flowers, or you may take a little offbeat path in your practice, and that's perfectly fine. So go ahead and get comfortable in child's pose. And I'm going to turn my camera off, and I will see you at the end of practice, and enjoy. All right, my friends. Take a beautiful breath in and just kind of feel your belly expand against your thighs. And then when you exhale, notice how the belly draws in and there's a softening that happens. So we start to connect to that rhythm here. And there's an expansion of the belly and then a pulling in of the belly. So nice. Just start to feel here. And then notice, is your inhale and your exhale equal? Are they balanced? We have a tendency to take long breaths in and then we don't fully exhale. So see if you can have the exhale match the inhale. And begin to creep your hands over to the right. So you've made a C curve with your spine. Sort of arching, hips maybe even over to the left just a tiny bit. And then bring your hands back to center. And then walk them over to the left and notice how the hips naturally want to turn to the right. You get a nice side bend here. Then bring your hands back to center and start to walk your fingertips away from you, really stretching the arms as long as they can go, but keeping that same spaciousness in the spine. So we're not lifting up just yet. The hips are nestled close to the heels. And then push into your fingertips. Allow the palms to sort of lift off of the mat like a little tent. So our fingertips are down, palms are up, and you should be feeling a nice stretch to the upper back and down along the upper sides of your back, maybe even into the bicep, triceps, and forearms. And go ahead and plant your palms, so just let the palms collapse against the mat. And then you'll rise up to all fours here. And once you get all fours, readjust, make sure the hands are spread nice and wide. The fingers are facing forward. And your hands are directly under your shoulders as your knees are under your hips. We're going to start by pushing against the floor and arching your spine up towards the ceiling. So the belly pulls in here and you really round the spine. And then just start to let the belly fall. And just reverse that motion. Your heart will lift, your nose will come up. Beautiful. And this extension of the heart, and then push against and round. We're going to start to link this with our breath. Next time you inhale, lift your nose, lift your heart. Next time you exhale, push against the floor and just start to find that equanimity or balance in the breath, that equality of the breath. The exhale matches the inhale, and there just becomes this rhythm here. This flowing of the breath. Sometimes we pause and we hold the breath. Today we're just going to let it roll through us. Now we're going to start to exaggerate the movements. And you'll start to sink back against the heels again. And then you'll roll forward and inhale and lift your nose, arch your spine, tuck your chin, sink back, exhale. Just begin to roll like this. It's called this rolling cat and cow series. Then you might even take a side bend as you swirl the hips in an oval, sinking back sliding forward. So it becomes this really organic, circular, flowing like a river over the boulders, through the grass, around the sticks, kind of motion. And then when you feel like your body's had enough of that direction, just reverse it, spin it the other way, and kind of stir up your body here on your mat. I like to think that this rectangle that we throw down on the floor is a beautiful sacred space. And it's just you and your breath here. Just you and your breath. Take a couple more, just like that. Nice. And now come back to all fours. Maybe reset the hands if they've begun to close a little bit. Sometimes our fingers just naturally start to close. And you'll tuck your toes and just come right up to down dog. So lift your hips up and back. You've made this upside down V shape, and tuck your chin. Just let the crown of your head go towards the floor. If your eyes are open, you might be looking at your toes or your belly, maybe your heart. And then might walk out your dog, pedal your feet, bend a knee. Just find a little bit of movement here. So nice. We're going to come backwards today. So walk your hands back towards your feet. Just walk, walk, walk back. And then you'll be in a forward fold. You'll slide your hands up to your shins. Take a long breath in. And then when you exhale, forward fold. Walk your feet as wide as your mat. And keep your toes forward. So you're at the back of your mat. Knees are probably bent-ish. Then we're going to bend the left knee a whole bunch so that your right leg goes really straight. And when you do that, begin to turn to the right and lift your right arm up to the sky. You might circle your wrist a few times. I like to start my practice that way. It just feels like I'm getting the wrist funkiness out, preparing my body to practice. But it also, I love circles, and I love the idea of maybe wrapping around and pulling some energy into my body. And then you'll lower your right hand, shift the weight to your right foot, bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, turn to the left arm goes high as you can, and maybe circle your left wrist. Beautiful. Take another breath in. And then go ahead and lower your left arm. Slide your hands up to your shins, take a breath, and then a really deep forward fold. Keep your arms and head down. Start to rebuild your spine up to stand. Your head will be last. When you get to the very top, you'll exhale and lower your shoulders. And then your arms will slide up. Keep your legs wide. Grab your left wrist and pull it up and over your body. Feel that nice side body stretch. You'll inhale and come back up to center. Grab your right wrist and pull it up and over to the left. Recreate length here. Reach up, maybe even start to look up. And then fold over those wideish legs. Maybe touch the floor. Take a halfway lift. This sort of resets everything in the spine. And then you'll fold really deep on your exhale. When you inhale, your left knee will bend and your right arm will go to the sky. Eyes will follow. And then you will exhale and the right arm returns. Remember, we're matching inhale with exhale. Bend your right knee, lift your left arm. You'll take a long breath in and then exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and peel the spine up slow as you can on your inhale. You get to the top, you will exhale and your shoulders will drop. And then you'll inhale, slide your arms up, maybe sweep them out. Grab your left arm and exhale, pull it over to the right. You see the rhythm here. Inhale back to center. Grab your right wrist, pull it up and over as you exhale. Find length on your inhale. And then fold down. Slide up halfway, that reset. Find length. And then forward folds. We'll do that again. Bend your left, reach your right. And then fold. Bend right, reach left, and fold. Start to peel the body up. Get to the top and exhale. Big breath out. Arms go high to the sky. Last time we grab our left and we pull to the right. We go back to center. We pull our right arm up and over. We come back to center, we just lay our body over our legs. You can see when we connect breath and movement, we become that water. We become that, just that one motion leads to the next motion, and it's really quite beautiful. Go ahead and walk your feet in just a little bit. So they're about hip distance now. And then start to walk your hands forward. You'll come to a push-up position. And then drop to your knees this first time. Eyes are about at the top edge of your mat. Take a breath in. Bend your elbows, squeeze them tight to your ribs, and lower all the way down to the earth. Beautiful. Now put your forehead on the mat and tuck your toes. Elbows are squeezed back by your waist. You have these little tight form on your mat. When you inhale, fill up your body with breath, and then your exhale, you'll actually push back up to the push-up. It's a little bit hard. Stay for your inhale, and then exhale, try that again. Lower all the way down. Fill up your body on your inhale, toes stay tucked, and then exhale, push, push, push. So we're not doing any cobra just quite yet. We're just finding push-up. You'll fill up the body, lower the body. Nice, just take one more of those. These are always optional to stay on the knees or stay on your toes. We'll make our way to down dog, and we're gonna start to link something here. So walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Bend your knees, bring your arms up by your ears. Have a seat in what looks like a chair pose. Nice. You will inhale, drive your body up to the sky, arms go high, eyes follow. And when you exhale, come right back down and fold. Begin to walk your hands out to the push-up on your inhale. 1, 2, 3, hands at the top. You will exhale, lower your body. This time we'll take the cobra, untuck your toes, bring your heart forward, lift your nose. And then when you exhale, find downward facing dog. Your inhale walks your hands back to your feet. The exhale gets you the folds. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folds. Now inhale to that chair pose. Settle on your exhale, get a little lower. Inhale, drive your body all the way up, look up, reach up, and then come right back down to a fold on your exhale. Begin to walk your hands out. 1, 2, 3 on your inhale. Exhale, lower your body. Untuck your toes, peel your heart, inhale. Find down dog, exhale. Walk your hands back to your feet, inhale. 1, 2, 3. Fold on your exhale. Find a halfway lift, breathe. Fold extra deep on your exhale. Inhale to your chair pose. Exhale, sink an inch. Inhale, drive your body tall as you can, look up, and then float down over your legs again, breathing out. Here comes that walking plank. You'll go forward on your inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, lower down, slow as you can. Untuck your toes, peel your heart up, take a big breath in, and then roll your body back to downward facing dog. Last time through, walk your hands back to your feet on the count of 1, 2, 3. Fold extra deep on that exhale. Come up halfway, fold again. Have a seat in the chair, settle on your exhale. Drive your body tall on your inhale. Exhale, folds. Last time, that walking plank. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Lower the body, slow as you can. Feel the rhythm, feel the equality of your breath. Peel your heart up, and then exhale, folds into downward facing dog. Nice, so we just find that rhythm here. Yeah, you feel it. So you've sort of sandwiched your body in that upside down V shape. So we're in downward facing dog. You're gonna lift your right leg up to the sky. Go ahead and bend your right knee and just roll your hip. Return your right foot up to the sky, three-legged dog. And then bring it forward between your hands. Right foot is forward, left foot is back. And then go ahead and come up to a lunge pose. So we're on the ball mount joint of the left foot. Arms are above the head. Tailbone tucks under. Right knee is bent a lot. Beautiful. Take a long breath in. Lower your back foot and exhale to a warrior two. So the arms split the length of the mat. Nice. Look over your right hand, settle in. First time through this, we're going to go slow. And our body becomes to recognize the posture and it becomes natural. You're going to pivot on your heels, turn towards the longer side of your mat. Arms go higher in a star pose. Looks like a giant 5-pointed star. So you've got the legs as your bottom two, arms as the upper two, and your head is that 5 point of the 5-point star. Toes are slightly out, heels are slightly in. You'll take a breath in. Bend your knees and have a seat on the horse, elbows bent into cactus. So it's known as horse pose or goddess pose. Beautiful. Now you'll rise up on your inhale. Pivot your back toes, your left ones, to the back edge of your mat. And then find warrior two to the back of your mat. You're looking at your left hand now. Nice, so warrior two to the back, eyes are looking over the left hand. This is a little tricky transition, but it's super worth it. So your back foot, your right one, should be plugged into the mat completely. Just start to pivot it so you're on just the ball mount joint of the toes. The heel comes up and the arms go above your head. So now we're back in that crescent lunge facing the back of your mat. So all we do is make that little adjustment of the foot and we're here in lunge. You'll take a big breath in. Let your hands come down to the mat. Frame your left foot that's at the back. Now step your left foot back to the push-up. Take the knees or the toes option. You can choose to lower down or just come directly to downward facing dog. When you get to down dog, stay and breathe. So we're gonna move through the mat in a circle. So we're gonna stay with our right leg here. Just like we started facing the front of the mat, right leg will lift. You might take the bent knee and then re-extend it and begin to float it forward between your hands. You'll come up to a lunge, left knee is bent, right leg is bent, left leg is at the back. So we're in the crescent lunge to the back, right knee is forward. And you'll take a breath in and then open up to warrior two to the back, looking over your right hand. Turn to the long edge of your mat, the other long edge. Find the 5-pointed star. Then have a seat on the horse or the goddess. Find length again. Pivot your front foot to the top edge of your mat. Just turn your toes. Find warrior two to the front, looking over your left hand. Arms will begin to come overhead as you pivot your back heel and come to that crescent lunge. You'll take a breath in. Hands will float down. Step back. Find your push-up. You can choose to skip the lowering and just go right to downward facing dog. Here's where we drop back down to child's pose. So let's gather up our breath here. It's known as a mandala flow. And a mandala is such a beautiful symbol of just the turns that we take in life and just the circular energy and the willingness to go with the flow. And what happens is when we cultivate that idea of not staying, we have to do it one particular direction, one particular way, then we start to have more flexibility in our life. And when we're more flexible in our life, we tend to be more balanced people. And that's just something that comes with having an openness and being willing to go with the flow. We're less rigid, we're less in the control mindset and more in a balanced, harmonious mindset. So we're going to take that whole series using the left leg as our leading leg. So we're going to wind the other way around the mat. I want you to be able to see that the movement to the back of the mat then becomes the front of the mat in some strange way, and it's really no different. And so getting out of the mindset that it has to be a certain way, being able to see from a different view your life, and maybe that different view of thinking more optimistic than negative is a possibility. So you'll come up to all fours, and then you'll make your way to downward facing dog. And then you'll take a breath in as your left leg lifts. You might bend your knee and let your hip open if that feels good. You'll find length again. Then take your left foot and bring it forward between your hands. It's a low lunge, and then you come up to that crescent lunge. Arms come high. So we settle here first. Kind of get our body organized in the pose. And then lower your back foot, and you'll come into warrior two, looking over your left hand facing the front of your mat. Arms go long. Now pivot and turn towards that longer edge of your mat. Extend the arms up, become that beautiful bright star. And now you'll bend your knees, bend your elbows, have a seat on the horse. Your next in-breath will take your body long again as you reach up, and then turn your back toes to the back edge of your mat and find warrior two to the back. You should be looking over your right hand. And then you'll pivot that back foot, bring your arms above your head. You're in a lunge. It becomes more natural the more you do it. Then the hands will float down to the mat. Front foot steps back, you're in a push-up. You can take the option or not. And meet in down dog. We're gonna stay with the left side here. We're working our way through the mandala. Left leg lifts. Bring it forward between your hands. You're at the back of your mat. You'll come up to a lunge. You'll plant your back foot, your right one, open up to warrior two, still looking at the back, which is now the front, over your left hand. And then you'll inhale, pivot and turn, become the star. Have a seat on the horse and exhale fully, don't rush it. You'll inhale back up. Pivot your toes back to the front of your mat and exhale warrior two, looking over your right hand. Pivot that back heel so it comes up, arms go high, you're in a lunge. Hands float down. Right foot steps back to meet the left. Take the option of knees, toes, or skip it all together. Find yourself in downward facing dog and then lower your knees and sink your hips. So we've done the mandala both sides. We've moved through the mat in a circular motion. We're going to take that entire series, each side, one breath, one movement. I'm going to guide you. Certainly breathe when you need to breathe. Maybe you want to linger in a particular pose and just catch up at some point, and that's fine. But the mandala is here. It's a very powerful practice of reminding us to flow through life, to see both sides, the front and the back, the sides and the other sides. Let's do it. Come up to all fours, you'll take a breath. And then exhale downward facing dog. And then your right leg will lift, you'll breathe. We'll skip the opening. When you exhale, bring your right foot forward between your hands. When you inhale next, bring your arms up, you'll find crescent lunge. When you exhale, lower your back foot, tee out your arms, looking over your right hand, warrior two. You'll inhale and turn towards the long edge, become a star. Exhale, have a seat on that horse, really empty the breath. You'll inhale and rise back up. Turn your left toes to the back of your mat, tee out your arms, exhale, warrior two to the back. Inhale, pivot that heel, sweep your arms above your head, maybe look up, inhaling. And then when you exhale, hands float to the mat. Left foot steps back, you'll take a breath. You can lower your body here or not, you pick. Once you get in downward facing dog, you'll take a breath or two. We're going to stay on the right side, right leg lifts. Step it forward, breathe out. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two, look over your right hand. Inhale, pivot and turn, big star. Exhale, have a seat on the horse. Inhale, get long again. Pivot your front toes to the front of your mat. Exhale, warrior two. That back foot spins, arms go high, you're in a lunge. And then the hands float to the mat. Front foot steps back to meet the back leg. You lower down or not. Find downward facing dog. Stay here in down dog. Don't drop to the knees unless you really need to. We're going to gather up our breath here, a couple breaths. And then we're going to take this to the left side. Left leg will lift. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale to a crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Look over your left hand, maybe get lower. This is our last time through. Inhale to the star, become big and bright. Exhale, have a seat on the horse. Rise back up. Turn to the back, get low in your warrior. Start to dig in. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands float. Inhale, step back to the push-up. Lower if you need to and like to, or just go to down dog. Your body's gonna know. Take a breath or two here. Our last time through, we're gonna work our way back to the front. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, pivot and turn, become the star. Exhale, have a seat on the horse. Inhale, extend your body long. Turn to the front, exhale, warrior two. Pivot the back foot, inhale the arms, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands float down. Front foot steps to meet the back. And you find child's pose. Catch your breath. You might ponder or reflect upon, was it hard to circle the mat? What was hard? What were you maybe holding on to? What was unfamiliar that you resisted? Or was it pleasurable to circle the body? To see a different view on your mat? Maybe you were able to see a different way of thinking. Go ahead and rise up to all fours. Tuck your toes. Find downward facing dog here. This time you'll shift your eyes to the very top of your mat. Walk your feet until they get there. Once you get at the top of your mat in a forward fold, you might let your arms just dangle like spaghetti noodles. You might grab an elbow with the opposite palm. You might be still, you might be having a need or desire to sway ever so slightly. Chin is tucked greatly, crown of the head is towards the floor, and just feel the tension leave the back of your neck. And then slowly, slowly, slowly begin to unwind and come up to stand. And when you get to the very top, close your eyes if they're not already closed, and just stand at the top of your mat, having just explored the entire totality of your mat, the moving around it, seeing each and every side, the long sides, the back sides, the front sides. What did it feel like to just flow through that? Instead of holding a posture facing the same direction you always face, what did it feel like? And how can that transfer off of your mat into your daily life? Do you have a routine? That routines are good, but could you change it just ever so slightly to see a different view? And take your arms out in front as if you're holding something really nice, like a tray of something wonderful. And then take your right leg and cross it over your left. You've made an X with your legs. Take your right arm under your left. You've made an X with your arms. Now bend your elbows, and if you can grab the hands or the backs of the hands to make this like crisscross over the wrists. If that doesn't work in your shoulders, go ahead and keep the X, but lay your palms on top of your shoulders. So it's a modified version of where we're going. And then start to bend your knees here. So we're coming into eagle pose, if you're familiar with eagle pose. And so you can keep the toes on the mat, the right toes. Or you might begin to play with lifting the right toes, keeping the crossed legs. So you have a really tight skirt on, your legs are bent as if you're sitting in a chair, and then your arms are squeezing just as tight as your legs. So this is a beautiful posture for regulating blood pressure. So we'll stay here and breathe, and your eyes would be looking straight through your hands if they're clasped. If you've got your hands on your shoulders, your eyes have a soft gaze forward. And then play with the balance if you'd like. Maybe bend your knees even more. Really sink and settle. Nice. We'll stay for a couple more breaths here. Eagle pose is a beautiful pose to stay and linger in. And then we're going to come out of it in a really dynamic way. So you might drop an inch here. And then unwind the arms first and extend them out wide as you can, and begin to unwind the legs, but keep your right leg off the mat as you tip slightly over, standing on your left leg. Arms are wide to a T. It's called falling star. And so we're toppled over slightly to the left. We're going to transition this particular falling star into airplane. So you're going to find that stability as you rotate the wings of your airplane back to parallel. Now the eyes are down at the floor. Your right leg is still up, but it's behind you like that airplane tail. And now start to lift your nose, lift your heart, because airplanes fly up. Keep your wings spread nice and wide. Take a beautiful breath in. And now bring your feet together, arms down, eyes closed. So important to close your eyes. And we're going to try that again, left side. Hold out your arms like you're holding something really nice. Cross your left leg over your right. Bring your left arm under your right. Make an X. Bend your elbows, maybe hook your pinkies, hook the backs of your hands together. Maybe the palms can come together by wrapping the wrists around each other. And if neither of those work, just place your palms on your shoulders. And now start to bend your knees and have a seat in that imaginary chair. Try to keep the elbows high, the palms away from your face if they're connected. So there's like just this beautiful L shape. And then we sink and we squeeze. We squeeze the arms, we squeeze the legs. Maybe we play with lifting the left toes off the mat. Sink just a little bit more. We're going to find that dynamic expansion here, the opposite of this closed tight posture. Let's explode out of it. Start with the arms, unwind them and extend them long to the sides like a T. And now start to sweep the left leg out to the side, standing on your right leg, this beautiful expression of a falling star. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. And now begin to straighten out your airplane. Torso becomes parallel, eyes go down, arms are wide, left leg is lifting, you are soaring, the heart leads the way. Take a breath in. Bring your feet together, arms down, eyes closed, breathe out. So as we rewire these neural pathways in our brain to go from negative to positive, it's really important to stay accountable to ourselves and to repeat. And each and every time we catch ourselves complaining or criticizing or feeling pessimistic, if we can catch it and shift it, practice to positive, shifting our thinking. Well, sometimes it takes us a long time to keep doing it over and over until we finally pave those new neural pathways. So we're going to take that series again. And now that your body's familiar with where we're going, see if it's easier to come into the pose. Arms go out in front, right leg over left, right arm under left. Make an X with both. Now bend your elbows, bend your knees, find the clasp for your hands, and then play with lifting your right toes off the mat or not. Find your eagle pose, full expression here. Get as low as you can right away. Feel what you feel. Keep a steady breath. We'll be here for a couple breaths. Perfect. Now your next inhale, you're going to explode out of this. Really extend the arms, the chest. Standing on the right leg lifts. You are in that falling star. Left leg is your standing leg. Now begin to transfer your airplane, spreading your wings, lifting your heart, tail of your airplane. It's that back leg, beautiful. The right leg, lift it higher. And now bring everything together and close your eyes. Let's try the other side. Arms extend out in front. Left leg over right. Left arm under right. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. Take the clasp. Get as low as you can. Play with the left toes, leaving the mat. Let's explode out. Next, inhale, drive your body long, open up your arms. Let your left leg lift. Right leg is standing, falling star. Start to transition to airplane. So we parallel our body. We become that airplane and our heart lifts, our nose lifts, arms sweep, left leg. Beautiful, is back. It's that tail of the airplane. Maybe lift it an inch. And then bring your feet together and close your eyes. Beautiful. Take a step back with your right leg about halfway down your mat. Your toes are going to stay forward here, all 10 of them. But we're on 2 separate lanes of traffic or 2 railroad tracks. And then make sure that your right hip is pushing forward slightly, with the left hip drawing back. Arms are going to go out in front again as if you're holding something nice. And then start to reach your arms forward. Keep reaching. So you're starting to bend from the hip crease. Keep reaching. Finding length and length and length. Keep reaching. Keep pulling your left hip back. And eventually the hands travel down to the straight left leg. So both legs are ideally straight-ish. So you might have to shorten your stance, widen your stance, but pull the left hip back. Right hip is pushing forward as left pulls back. Here we are finding that balance and equanimity in the legs. Keep your right hand down. Start to turn towards your straight left leg. Take your left arm up to the sky. It's called revolved pyramid. So we're twisting our pyramid today. Keep drawing the left hip back, attempting straight legs. It's a hard pose. Be gentle with yourself here. Take a big breath. Lower your left arm. This is the hard part. Draw your belly button in and slowly rise up. Nice. Keep your legs just where they're at. Pivot on your heels to the back of your mat. Now your right leg's in front, left leg's behind. So the right hip draws back as the left hip draws forward. Hold something nice. Reach past the back edge of your mat. Keep reaching, 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 finding space. Now lower your arms. Pull your right hip back, square the hips. Left arm stays down, right arm extends up. Notice this different view of perhaps your room, wherever you're practicing, maybe you're outside. Nice, take a breath, lower that arm. Here's the hard part. Draw the belly in, slowly come up. Beautiful. Pivot back to the front of your mat. Back foot steps forward to meet the front. We're going to lift up onto our tippy toes as we hold that tray of something nice out in front. We're going to start to bend our knees so slowly. Start to just take like elevator action as you draw the body down. Knees start to bend. We're up on our toes. Now can you press back up to stand tall on your tippy toes? Don't spill whatever you're holding. Bend your knees. Slide, slide, slide. Maybe further down. One more time. We go all the way up. Squeeze your thighs together. That helps. Now this time you're going to bend your knees. Don't spill your tray of whatever you're holding. Keep your arms out. Bend, bend. Find your lowest place. Maybe it's all the way crouched down. You hear the language your body speaks. Maybe it's halfway. Hold and breathe. And now come all the way down. You can let go of the arms. Bring the hands behind you to support your body. Go ahead and sit cross-legged. Bring your arms behind you, fingertips away from you. And then you're going to lean back onto those straight arms, onto the palms. Lift your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your nose. Start to straighten up your spine. Keep your legs cross-legged. Bring your left hand over to your right knee that's bent. Your right hand stays behind you. Take a big breath in. Just start to spin around to the right. We're twisting the spine. Take another breath in. Spin just a little bit more. Come back to center. Switch sides, right hand, left leg. Left hand behind you. Get long through your spine first. And now spin over, over, over. Feel that. Get long again in your breath. Take one more spin. Wind your belly back to front. And now uncross your legs. Bring the soles of your feet to touch and make this huge diamond shape between the base of your body and the heels. Slide your hands to your ankles. Draw your elbows in. Round your spine like a turtle shell. Tuck your chin, even the crown of the head, going towards the direction of the instep of your feet. This is a time that we start to come inward in our practice. We slow down. It's a nice time to go back to contemplating the idea of the scales. And are there areas of your life that are off balance? Are there areas where maybe you're giving way more than you're willing to receive? Are you putting so much effort into life and not enough ease? Are you equal in your emotions? Are you balanced? Does your pain match your pleasure? As we learn to find both balance and flow on the mat, start to transfer that outside of the rectangle into your life. You see the unwillingness you may have to go with the flow and how that mindset can create an imbalance. Do we hold on too tight and not flow like the water? And over time, holding on too tight in life will create an imbalance. Keep your eyes closed. Just roll up slowly. And as you get to where the spine is starting to become vertical, just tuck your pelvis under and lay onto your back. We haven't been on our back yet. So nestle into your mat, maybe circle your body, hug your knees into your chest, do what feels really good to you. I like to have my knees wide here, maybe open and close my hips. I'm going to splay out our arms really wide to a T shape, palms face up. One of your palms represents receiving, one represents giving. Knees will stay bent tight to the chest. You'll take a breath in. And then drop your knees over to the left. Your head will naturally know where to go. Knees will come back up to center. And you slowly drop them to the right. Your head will know where to go. Your knees back up to center. Lower your feet to the mat. Let the soles of your feet touch. You might enjoy keeping the arms wide and just feeling that openness to your chest. You might bring your arms down by your side. You might even take a hand onto your belly or your heart just to feel the equanimity of your breath. You can choose to stay just as you are. You can stay as long as you'd like. Letting the body integrate the practice. As you move through the rest of your week, I encourage you to look at your mindset, look at your thinking, look at balance in your life, to look at, are you going with the flow? Are you willing to do that? Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy the practice, find gratitude. We'll see you really soon.